Hey guys, today I want to talk about the Bose Soundsport wireless earbuds. I've had these for about 10 months for personal use, and I figured enough time has gone by after using them for probably an hour a day to make a well-informed recommendation for them. So I want to start off with price and then talk about pros and finish up with the cons. New from Bose, you can get a set of these for about 130 bucks, or if you want a factory renewed version of them, you'll pay less at about $90 when they're available. As far as the pros go, the first pro is that the sound quality is actually really good. And I'm not saying that because they have the Bose logo on the side, but because they actually are, particularly at the low end, like the bass. And when I think of Bose, I think that a lot of their products tend to be overly bassy. Just because Bose wants to show you that they can make them that way, which in my experience is kind of made for like a little bit of an annoying, unbalanced feel to them, but that's not the case with these. These have actually sounded very good, and you notice it because they did a good job. And comparing these to some other earbuds I've tried, other earbuds tend to underperform there, if anywhere, at the low end. So I was very happy with that. Not only is the sound quality great for you as the listener, but the microphone pickup is very good. And that's from feedback I've gotten from people I've talked to on the phone. And one of the advantages of having these tethered together with the wire is that it positions the microphone pretty close to your mouth, and that's where the volume rocker and the pause skip button is too, which is pretty convenient. So for making and taking phone calls, I love these because the sound quality is great and it's a hands-free kind of deal. So excellent for that, in my opinion. Some of the other pros are, well, the tether, okay? The tether is great because of where it positions the mic and the buttons, but it also keeps the separate earpieces from becoming separated from each other. Like you can't lose one and not the other. You have to lose them both at once, which may not be an advantage. But that's nice. It also lets you just drape them over a chair or hang them somewhere when you're not using them, which is pretty convenient. Also, when you stop to talk to someone and you've got these on, you can just let them dangle from just around your neck rather than trying to keep them in your hands without losing them. So that's all a plus as far as the tether goes. Now, they're said to be wireless, but that doesn't mean wire-free. That just means they use Bluetooth to wirelessly connect to your phone or your car or whatever. Some of the other pluses are I think it's silicone, these gel pieces that actually interface with your ears. They come with 3 different sizes in the packaging, so you can swap those out to find what's most comfortable for you, but with the stock medium size, I've had really good luck with comfort for longer periods, so I can listen for an hour without it really irritating me. So that's nice that Bose did a good job there. And like I said, they do grab up inside your ear nicely, and I know these are kind of marketed as a active wear, sportier kind of product. So, and I've used them on the treadmill before, and they work pretty well for that without coming out. The cord can yank a little bit, just depending on what you're doing, but I haven't had issue, especially if you route them behind your neck. These are firmware updatable, which is nice, and you can use an app on your phone to do that. You can also use that same app to activate the Tile service, which, if you're not familiar, is a Bluetooth GPS kind of a service that lets you hit a button on your phone that will make these start ringing audibly if you lose them somewhere, and it's free, which is nice. Just in case you can't find them, you can dig them out of your closet or whatever. Some of the neutral aspects of these headphones that may just be a preference kind of thing are the amount of sound blocking they do. These are not noise canceling. They don't act like an earplug that just blocks all outside sound, but nor do they let just anything through. So it's actually a pretty comfortable balance. So you can keep them in your ear, you can hear what you want to listen to without having to crank the volume way up, but they don't block so much that someone else can't get your attention pretty readily. So that's a pretty good balance. If you ask me, the battery life I want to say is adequate. These are not that big, so there's not room for a huge battery inside these things. And as long as I've kept on top of charging them regularly, the battery hasn't really been a problem. It's when I've just forgotten to charge them for a couple days is when I notice when I have 10% left, and that's when it gets aggravating, but that's with any piece of mobile electronics. When you put them in your ear, there's a little button on the top of the device, and hopefully it will show up here. There's a button right here that you can press, and it's comfortable when you have it in your ear. You put your thumb on the bottom and you press with your finger on the top, and then you'll hear the boot up sound or the power down sound, and that's in a pretty comfortable position, and they boot up and connect pretty quickly. But getting into the cons, that's kind of a double-edged sword. So when you connect to these with the app to configure them, the app requires that you share your location data with them and maybe one or two other permissions before they let you do anything. Every time you use the app, which is mildly aggravating if you care about privacy, because why do they have to know your location just to configure your own product? So whether that's a big deal to you or not, it's up to you. But that's mildly annoying. It aggravates me every time I use the app. But once you're in the app, you can update the firmware, you can change some settings, and one of those settings is the voice prompts. Now, with the voice prompts active or turned on, you will hear something like the following every time you power them up in your ear. It'll say tile activated, and it'll say battery 90%, and then it'll tell you connecting to or connected to device, whatever your device is. So those are the tile announcement is not really all that useful, because once you set it up, you know it's set up. It doesn't just shut off by itself. So why it prompts with a voice message telling you about it every time, I can only think is because tiles deal with Bose in the agreement. They had that in there. So I greatly dislike having to listen to that announcement every time I turn them on, even though it's only for a second. So when you turn the voice prompts off, it turns off the battery level announcement, what you're connected to, but it still says that tile is active, the least useful piece of information. So anyway, that's my beef with the app, but it is nice that they're firmware updatable and configurable. The cord can pull. If you have it positioned where the cord is in the front, it's great for accessing the volume rocker, and it puts the mic in a great spot. But if you are leaning over or eating your breakfast, the cord can get in the way. You can route them behind your head, which is pretty convenient too. The volume rocker is still in a good spot, but the microphone moves back pretty far, so it may not be that great for taking phone calls that way. The charging port, which is on the same side as the power button, there's a little, I hope you can see this, cover that you can open to reveal a micro USB port, which, because phones are standardized on either USB-C now or the Lightning connector, you have to have a separate micro USB cord handy for charging these, which is a little annoying. It would be nice if it was USB-C, and these do not support wireless charging either. Maybe a future version will, but right now these don't. These are water resistant, they are, but not waterproof. Don't submerge them or you'll have problems. These guys come in 3 different colors. There's this black, which I like the looks of best, but there's a blue and then more of a green color. I think if I was to, what I've noticed with the black ones is that it's easy to lose them in plain sight. If I drape them over a chair, or you get the lights off because you're going to bed or something, I find myself losing these or misplacing them for 5 minutes at a time. So I'd probably opt for maybe the green if I were to buy them again, just so they're easier to find without having to go hit the tile button. Lastly, the packaging. The packaging is quite nice. You've got this whole premium unboxing experience, but it was so nice that it made me wonder how much of the retail cost went into this luxury packaging experience. So I'd rather have a cheaper product and skip all that. But anyway, that's my review. I really do like these, despite my list of cons. So hopefully this has been helpful. Thanks so much for watching.